Top 7 Best CPU for WoW in 2022. Through extensive research and testing, I have put together the list of options that will meet the need of different types of buyers. For more information, I have put links of products in the description. Make sure to check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Number 7. Intel Core i3 10100. The 4-core/8-thread Intel Core i3 10100 lands in the 10th Gen stack as Intel's entry-level core CPU. The next step up from a Celeron or a Pentium, and at least on paper, it looks like an upgrade every way from the Intel Core i3 9100 for the same price. On the street, the processor is both widely available at the time of publish, not something we can say for the AMD Ryzen 3 3300X, and also going for cheaper than Intel's original recommended selling price, depending where you shop. Number 6. Intel Core i3 7100. Recently, Intel launched the 7th generation Core i processors, codenamed KB Lake. At first, were launched the Core i7 and Core i5 CPU, and soon after, the Core i3, Pentium, and Celeron models. Those processors bring small changes compared to the 6th generation ones. New video decoder for 4K video, improved speed shift technology that dynamically adjusts the CPU clock, and support to Optane technology, which is a future kind of high-performance SSDs. Besides the Core i3 7100, there are other Core i3 CPU on this generation, like the Core i3 7100T. Low consumption of the Core i3 7300, higher clock, and the Core i3 7350K. The Core i3 7100 features 3.9 GHz clock, 3 MB of L3 cache, and TDP of 51W. It is manufactured under 14nm process. Number 5. Intel Core i5 9400F. As Intel struggles to satisfy demand for its chips, AMD has launched its Ryzen 3000 series processors. The updated Ryzen lineup employs a smaller 7nm process that should confer power and price benefits. It'll also wield the new Zen 2 microarchitecture, which is expected to boost performance, while Intel remains mired in a derivative of the 7-year-old Skylake design. These chips have now taken our best CPU list by storm, so be sure to head there for a list of the latest leading processors. You can also see how the chips stack up in our CPU benchmark hierarchy. Number 4. Intel Core i3 9100F. Both Intel Core i3 9100 models have 4 cores/threads, with a base clock of 3.6 GHz with a max turbo clock frequency of 4.2 GHz. Each of 6 MB of Intel Smart Cache are rated at 65W TDP and run on Intel 300 series chipset motherboards with the LGA 1151 socket. Neither model is fully unlocked since these are not K-scoop processors. That means the Core i3 9100 processors are multiplier locked. But the good news is that the bus speed is unlocked, allowing for some clock adjustments. Number 3. Intel Core i5 11600K. Single core performance, as ever, remains an Intel strength. The Core i5 11600K scored impressively in many single-core runs that had favored AMD 6-core/12-thread Ryzen 5 5600X to this point, and it also makes a case for itself against the previous generation Intel Core i5 10600K. The gaming results were a bit back and forth against the competition, and the required platform upgrade to the LGA 1200 socket might be too pricey and entry burden for some mid-range component shoppers. But for the Intel faithful looking for a solid chip to use with the video card to PC game on a budget, the Core i5 11600K is a strapping entry into a slightly crowded, but constantly evolving, segment of the market. Number 2. Intel Core i7 10700K. Intel's Comet Lake has cratered into the market, bringing more threads to the company's Core i5 and i7 lineups along with more cores for the Halo Core and E family. In response to AMD unrelenting pressure, Intel's revamped lineup offers more threads for the same pricing as previous gen models. The Core i7 10700K slots in with 8 cores and 16 threads for an MSRP of without GPU, though current street prices are higher. In fact, the 10700K offers the same number of cores and threads as the previous gen Core i9 9900K, but for less, making it a contender for our list of best CPU and a top performer on our CPU benchmark hierarchy. Number 1. Intel Core i7 11700K. To start off, if you prefer a deeper dive into all the 11th generation goodness we've got to spare, including info on motherboard compatibility and cost of adoption. Head on over to our review of the Core i9 11900K flagship for all the details. For now, here's how the various CPU and the Rocket Lake lineup shake out. Note that for legibility's sake, we've left out the low-power 35-watt T versions of these chips, which will be of interest mostly to OEM. So guys, that's all for the top 7 best CPU for WoW in 2022. The links of all products are given in the description, which are updated for the best prices. Subscribe our channel for more videos. We will meet in next video. Till then, take care, bye.